Mid-America Chevy Dealers present Pointfest.
It's 105.7 The Point, everything alternative. We are backstage at Pointfest, and I have the absolute honor of being joined by Sean and Mike from Alice in Chains. Guys, how are you?
Wow, how do you live up to that?
Yeah, we better not suck tonight.
That'll ruin our sound. So.
Wow.
All right, so the first question that I have is one that I've wanted to ask you guys and a band of your ilk for quite some time.
Ilk.
I like his vocabulary. He's good at what he does.
Well, when you are a band that has been around for as long as Alice in Chains has,
Millenniums.
and you were I don't know the best way to say this, so it might come out rough, but you were one of my favorite bands when I was in high school. Like, is that an odd thing for people to say? I've liked you for
Okay, we're old.
so
Just
long."
say it. We're old.
I am too, man. I am too. But is that, I mean, because I don't mean it in a negative way whatsoever, but I mean, you guys.
How old are you?
How old am I? I'm 37.
All right. See, we're not that, we're a little older than you.
Yeah, but I mean, but again, do you mind kind of being, that sort of band? I mean, I think it speaks, volumes for the longevity of it.
It is what it is, right? I mean, that's just the reality of the situation. It's cool though that, it doesn't happen for everybody. Not everybody gets to have that kind of a longer career, and it wasn't on our account of trying to work it and everything. I mean, obviously we didn't talk to anybody for quite a long time, and but the music lived on the radio, because they kept playing the songs, people kept passing it on, and that doesn't happen to everybody, and you can't have a record company or anybody making that happen. So looks like it happened to us, and now we're classic rock.
On a personal
We're becoming
level,
classic rock though, right? And so Kansas, Dust in the Wind, we're up there with that, which is fucking. Oops,
play that
I
tonight.
swore.
No, you're all right.
You can swear?
Yes.
Fucking awesomely shit, fucking motherfucker.
Dust in the motherfucking
Fucking-
wind, goddammit.
I'm gonna say all that. We don't do enough of that on stage. We don't, like most, these festivals. I'm sure all the singers are like, "Well, you motherfucking doing? I can't fucking hear you." We don't do enough of that.
We're
I
way
think.
too lazy for
We
that.
should do
Way
way
too
more
lazy.
of that.
Well, you're more than welcome to do that as much as you want during the course of this interview.
know,
All right,
Okay,
just- if
okay,
you
all
wanna
right.
get it out-
Because I can't fucking hear you. What? What?
And it's just because we're deaf. It's not because they're not screaming, but
you legitimately
really
can't hear.
can't.
I
can't
really
hear
don't
'em.
know what the fuck you're saying, man.
I like cussing. This
All
is
right.
nice.
So let me ask about the new album, which is in stores on the 28th. The Devil Put Dinosaurs Here. I would like to be the 1,000th journalist to ask you, can you please talk about that title, where it came from, and why you decided to go with that as the album title?
It's a song on the album, so we thought we'd name the album that.
We're really not that clever. We're just kind of lazy, actually. So that's what we went with.
The song, if you hear it, if you check out that record, you'll probably figure out kind of loosely what it's about. I think we'll leave it at that. But, yeah,
It's kind of cool. We like.
I think,
dinosaurs,
and we
like
believe
devils.
that. I believe the devil, a little mythical man with cloven hooves, ran around the globe, hiding bones that were hundreds of millions of years old to fool us. And that the Earth is only 6,000 years old. I believe that with all my little black Grinch heart. So,
You're not shying away from the controversy.
there is no controversy.
I guess you're right, but I mean, there will be those that'll probably maybe question
Be mad.
Or say something to you. Yeah,
well,
maybe be a little pissy.
They can get on their ark with all their animals and do that. I mean, believe in whatever you want. We're not saying there's anything wrong with it. We're all believing. You need to have faith. Believe in whatever. It's the fact when people are like, "I'm right, you're wrong." That's not how. That's not how it should work. So,
we were talking about the new album, and I wanted to mention the second single from the album is called Stone. And I really, really like that song a lot. And it, to me, has that sort of kind of broad, foreboding Alice in Chains sound. How can you consistently have that sort of, quote, Alice in Chains sound when you have gone through a lead singer and you know what I mean? I mean, it's pretty tough, but it just sounds like classic Alice in Chains to me.
yeah, we get asked that a lot. It's not hard to sound like yourself.
Right.
So it's not hard at all for us to do that. The circumstances, what they are hard, as people and for our friends that we've lost. And And you know, that's half the reason we decided to even still do this. You know, to champion all we were and who they are and how important that is to us, and to move forward, because you have to move forward in life, you know. So ultimately, it's not that hard to sound like ourselves, you know, I guess. But I can see why people are probably shocked, like, oh my God, you sound like you.
I guess I just mean, you know, I mean, a band can go away for a while, come back, and they can still maybe have a little flavor there, or a little piece of what they sound like. But I mean, again, I just think this sounds like a just great old school Alice in Chains jam. That's
It's funny. We don't overthink it like that. We just get in a room and make a bunch of racket, and that's what comes out. That's what goes on the tape machines, you know. So
They pay me to overthink it.
Yeah, but you did play drums really good on, like, you sound like Sean Kinney actually on that record. That's the whole key.
I did the best version of me.
You hire studio guys that sound exactly like you. It's easy.
Yeah,
People don't fucking know that.
yeah, you know, and taking all that time to, like, you know, listen to it online and, you know, send back, you know, notes like, don't do that, man. Be a better me on there. So
hey,
cool.
me, be a better me.
Hey, phone it in. We phone it in. No, it's not hard to do. I don't know. It's just, it's how we sound when we play.
Is what it is.
We don't use a lot of trickery. There won't be any tapes or Pro Tools going tonight. We actually play and sing everything. There's nothing helping it. So if it sounds like shit, that's us sounding like shit. You know, that's just the way it is. We don't know how to do it any other way. You know, I think a lot of people rely on technology. It's a great thing, and there's reasons for it. But I think it's over reliant, and kind of puts some bands like us and probably like the Foo Fighters and certain bands like that at a disadvantage. You know, a lot of bands will just go out there and play
Actually,
along.
I think they're.
You know, I always thought that was weird. I mean, it's a live thing. You know. So.
I think they're recording us on Pro Tools right now, actually. So maybe you should get us.
No, I mean, you could. The technology is
Put
cool.
the
It's just when
intelligent
you
plug-in
over-rely
on my voice,
It
if you
just
could.
doesn't seem to make sense for us. I mean, we don't know how to do it any other way. So you know, it takes us. You know, we're old. We do it old school. You know.
You have a great tour on coming up. The Big Uproar tour. The lineup is fantastic. You, Jane's Addiction, Coheed and Cambria, another one of my favorite bands. Middle Class Rut, not to mention Circa Survive. How did this feel like?
Span, Walking Papers.
Oh yeah, and how did it work out that this festival sort of made sense for Alice? Well, I mean, was it just, you know, the timing of it all kind of came together, or, you know, was there a band on there that you said, oh, you know, we really look forward to going out with those guys?
Well, they kind of were wanting to rebrand the thing. I think they wanted to be a little more. I think they had two sort of similar rock tours going on. They weren't that different, and I think they approached us a while ago about doing that, and we were going to go and do it on our own. So it was kind of like we do the same thing on our own, you know, with just a couple bands, or take part in this thing. And they were wanting to rebrand it and reshape it and make it a little broader, maybe musically, you know, and that appealed to us. So we thought it would be cool. You know,
I kind of like those Gathering of the Tribes kind of vibe. Like, goes back to, say, Lollapalooza in 1993. Once again, dating ourselves as old fucks. But, you know, like, by the end of those tours, like, people are jamming together and, you know, giving each other socks and stuff. You know,
I'm pretty sure I'm making the road trip.
I hope there's socks. I hope there's socks.
Giving each other bunk socks. Google it. Google it.
Yeah, uproar is the actual
you're not gonna like what you find.
Indian word for bunk sock. People don't know that.
It's an old mukluk word for bunk
hey,
sock.
Come in that sock and let me borrow it.
No, it is cool. It's because it's
so sorry.
It's cool to go to shows. I like going to things where I can be turned on to different kind of music that I might not always be exposed to, and I think that music's universal. You know, it's one day of kind of a bunch of music that sounds a lot the same. Kind of doesn't appeal to us as much, I think. You know.
Well, and that's why some of those old Lollapalooza lineups were so great. I mean, because you would get the hip hop act, and there would be a metal band, and then there'd be a rock band and a pop band. You know, it was just kind of all over the place, kind of a little something for everybody, and that's kind of what this tour, you're right, kind of reminds me of. You know, a little bit of something different.
Yet something familiar.
I think we almost made a commercial there.
Yeah, we're really selling it.
I got one more for you, and then I'll let you guys have you.
I don't know. Show up, don't show up. You know, come by. I don't know. I hope.
All right.
Go, don't go.
You have an obvious. I mean, we talked about it. You have just an incredible amount of material, a ton of hits. How difficult is the set list putting it together every night?
Depends on how long you get to play. So I don't know how long we're playing tonight. So you kind of there's ones that you probably should play. You got to look at it differently. Like honestly, we'd change it quite a bit more, and it depends on how much control we have and the situation we're in. But you can't look at it like everybody's already seen you play. A lot of the times this is the first time anybody's seen us play, and I know it sounds weird because we're old and all. But
hey, thanks for bringing that up too, by the way, buddy.
So we.
I'm glad I could help.
Yeah, well, we have hair, so
that was
feel it, bro.
Wow,
feel it.
That was rough.
that was pretty hard.
It's a wig.
No,
you can see the netting.
It's
showing. No, but so like you can't. People are there's probably a good grip of people out there that are seeing us play for the first time. So we try to do kind of a little something from, all the records and kind of a mix. We get a weird fan base that goes, it's multi-generational, and then there's people that really love all the acoustic records we made and aren't really down with the louder other stuff, and then there's people that like that, and so it's a cool thing to have. It's nice to essentially be able to play pretty much whatever we want, and then people seem to react to it, so that's nice. And these new songs we've added to it, which is cool. Seems like we're adding songs that people are connecting with and stuff, so it's not like we're trapped in the past, So it's not worth doing it. If we were doing that, we wouldn't do it. If we felt we were just, nothing was connecting now, we'd be like, oh, that was cool.
So Hollow, Stone, they'll definitely be a part of the set list tonight.
Yeah, Check My Brains and stuff like that. Stuff from the last record.
Oh, Lesson.
A lot of stuff from my stand-up and spoken word. We'll do a breakdown, and I'll do some spoken word. Mike does an interpretive dance while I do a spoken word.
Complicated Kinney album?
Yeah, it's from my Complicated Kinney album. It's real personal. It's a real personal, just like, reflecting on my, life. And the kids seem to not like it at all when I do this.
Very deep.
But you know what? It's important to me to do that, and it kills a lot of time during the show, so he can smoke cigarettes and shit. It's a great thing for no one.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for this. I appreciate it. If I have made you feel old, I apologize.
No, man, that's my hip replacement that makes me feel old. And the colostomy bag. Is that showing? I'm trying to hide it.
You got it tattooed, though.
I got a tattooed colostomy bag.
Wow.
I'm lying.
Yeah, that would be an exceptional tattoo.
Yeah.
New album from Alice in Chains in stores on May the 28th. It's called The Devil Put Dinosaurs Here. And guys, thank you just so very much for your time. Hope you have a great set tonight. And best of luck in the future.
Cool, man. Thanks.
Thanks.
Backstage live at Pointfest, Alice in Chains.
We're back.